You don't move cars in the wrong spaces? Well, I'll park here then. This happened to me back in early 2015. We'd just recently made the move to purchase a new EV. At the time, the batteries in the EVs were small compared to today and only had around a 6,080-mile range. Well, one of our first larger journeys was to a shopping center about 60 miles away. We chose to go to this shopping center as it also was one of the first places to have EV charging. Compared to other shops, and at the time the charging was still free. So we hoped to go there, get a free charge while shopping, and then head home with a full battery. Before we set off, we checked the charger was working through its app, and once we were happy, we made the journey. When we arrived, we found where the chargers were placed and ran into our issue. They were working fine, but they were fully blocked by non-EV cars. The bays were marked, but for whatever reason people had parked in them. No worries, I thought, and I went into the center to the information desk to ask if they would announce for whoever to pop to their car to move it. They said they didn't do that and wouldn't. I explained I needed to charge to get home and could they please make an exception. They would not, and so I angrily dropped a hint about them clamping the car or leaving a ticket on it. They said they don't do that either. In fact, the car park was not monitored at all as it was free to park for the day, so no cameras were needed to monitor the car park and there were no car part attendants. So you don't do anything about incorrectly parked cars? I asked. The answer I got was a firm no from the information desk person, and they really didn't want to be bothered again. As I got back to the car, I saw there was a pavement to the edge of the chargers. The chargers were situated close to the building, but the pavement was in a place that wouldn't be used much when walking around the car park. It also didn't lead anywhere, and more importantly, didn't lead to any disabled or parent parking spots. It was also very wide, which gave me an idea. I then drove to the end of the car park, mounted the wide pavement, made sure there was no one around, and slowly drive to the chargers. My cable then reached. I started the charge, locked the car, and went shopping. I got back to the car at the end of the day with some form of employee, possibly security, but wasn't sure. In front the center, looking perplexed at our car parked on the pavement. I just unlocked the car, pulled the cable away, and drove off with a full charge. Safe to say, the next time I went a year later, there were signs on the EV bays stating parking restrictions. There was a fine for non-EVs, and they were marked with more paint to make them extra obvious. Oh, and a couple of bollards at the end of the pavement where I mounted the curb. TLDR. The EV space was blocked that I needed, and they don't ticket cars, so I parked on the pavement for the day. I thought this story was going to end with you parking across the other cars. Here, Romania, smallish city, mounted EV charging bays at the shopping center. And it is not rare for people to use them as special place for their limited edition 6-liter SUVs. Well, I was shopping and someone argued with the security about the EV bays being occupied, and having back the same response as you. A couple hours later, both cars were honking like crazy because the EV was blocking the exit. Leisurely charged. After a couple hours more, the man just talked with the security officers, took the charger out, and went on his day. 2 months later, there is a camera watching the EV bays and more clear signage. Glad you got your EV charged. I guess the shopping center saw the error of their ways. But did you pop a Mentos in your mouth before driving away? Shocking thing to happen. What I don't like about the charging stations at our mall is there are all the way in the back 40. Like all the way there. The center has a very busy roadway that circles the mall that you have to cross, and it divides the parking lots. It's dangerous. I had this happen before. It's funny to watch their faces walking to their car realizing I blocked them with the cable dragged across their car. I run into this a few times a week at a city-run site near me. I've complained to the office, who says they can't do anything. I've asked the police, who sit in the parking lot, city-owned property, and they say they can't do anything either. I started carrying stick-on notes saying, "This spot is reserved for EV vehicles that are actively charging." That helps some. As somebody else noted, the offenders are usually 1980s Grand Marquis, large SUVs or beat-up pickups. For any other confused Americans reading this, I'm 85% sure pavement is sidewalk in yank smiley face. Not sure if this is the case here, but I have heard of instances of people parking in EV spots intentionally just to be dicks. There are also videos of electric cars targeted for vandalism. Milton Keynes? A few years ago, I was visiting my daughter in Santa Cruz. One of the shopping centers had about 15 EV charger spots and possibly more than 5 handicap parking spots, and all of them were in the front of every store in the center. At first I was confused. Then I noticed people driving what looked like oversized golf carts on the roads. They are street legal. It all made sense after I saw that. Talk about a new reality. Meaningful change trough nonviolent civil disobedience. I like this. EVs have torque, pull 'em out, open mouth smile. In parts of Australia, I was just reading the other day that fines for ICAing in EV bays are not just steep, but FC-king vertical. NSW and ACT are fines of up to $3,200. I think Victoria is $2,600. That's an expensive day's shopping. We had enough snow to cover the parking lot lines. I arrived back to my car to find it sandwiched between 2 vehicles, with 2 cars on each side. Security called the local police to ensure I didn't do anything to the 2 morons blocking me in. Way to go. I don't drive an EV, but am respectful of their parking. Sure, my Wrangler would fit nicely, but that's not for Jeep parking, so I avoid those spots. Good for you for making your point quite nicely. Open mouth smile winking face winking face. I think they call what you did, de-ICAing. I love the idea of electric cars, but this is why, at this point in time, I'll only ever do hybrid.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.